The Irish Trotter Podcast with Mark and Sean Kane.
All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to our second episode. Thankfully, we got a good bit of feedback from our first one there, which wasn't really supposed to go out, so it went out anyway, and thankfully we got a good bit of feedback anyway. So if you don't know, you're joined by Mark Kane there, equine dentist extraordinaire, and myself, well, I just trained too many French trotters. Anyway, we're going to have a look at the races from last week, and then we're going to roll on to next week, or this week, sorry, and see where we're going. So Mark's going to click in there.
Yeah, first race we look at was the first race of the weekend. It was the pace, the GG1 pace at Anigmar. It was won in the end by Springhill Miss Kate. Springhill Miss Kate was his first time out for Gavin Murdoch this year and won quite impressively in the end. Pancam Mishby was very sharp away, but pulled up for a broken hobble, so he's maybe one to keep an eye on going forward. Sharp's attack finished second for John Richardson, and Oakwood Maverick was a little bit slow away from the gate, minded away, trying to give him a little bit of confidence by Bernard Dickelson, and he finished in third of the last three finishers.
Yeah, that's right. That Maverick took a big break the week previous in Pomarag, didn't he?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
All right, so we'll roll on to the next race there, which is... This is one that I actually tipped the horse last week, Flatur, Darren Timlin. If only he had to wait another week to sort it out, he goosed me. I finished second. But there's a lot of speed in this one early with Darren. He drove it confidently, which he normally does when he knows he has one right. He drove it confident. And himself and his old horse there, Avenue de Vervaux, that they went to war a little bit. My own mare, we were kind of tracking in. Looked like we were going to get there. We didn't get there in the end. Darren was... We've done too much and we couldn't get him. It was a real front running day in Anigmar, and yeah, well done, fair play to him.
The next race in Anigmar was the third race, Pace. This was won by a horse that we really spoke about last week in a bit of detail. Newtown Rock. This horse went out back in a good while, and young Alan Wallace Jr. took the reins this time. I think this was a really good run because he beat a really good yardstick and On Top Big C. He won quite well last time. And On Top Big C wouldn't have minded those conditions. Alan Wallace was making sure he was getting no freebie up front. He was on the move early, put a bit of pressure onto the first quarter, and tucked in behind On Top Big C, and had another go down the straight and just had too much for him. Yeah, this is a good run by Newtown Rock, and I'm interested to see how it's going to go this week. On Top Big C stayed on for second, ahead of Beat the Clock and Fairdays Western, and yeah, this is a race with a little bit of quality, and it was good to see Newtown Rock get back on track with a win.
Yeah, it was. Big C to me. Now looking back at the replay there, he looked like he had to put the bed really, but halfway around the bend, Rock just bore him out and took on. And I think Newtown Rock's last win was 2018, so it's good to see him back in the winners' enclosure. And that was the start of a Wallace double for the day, so it's good to see them guys coming back in the form too. Then the next one, we moved on to a trot then after that then, which was won by Curly Delay on the end. Martin, he had a 20-yard head start. Got his fractions all right. He hit in 34, 32, 33, 2/10 and a mile. And those back markers, they just couldn't get near him when he had that little kick at the finish. Besame Mucho was his first start of the year. It was good to see him back on track. And he probably did need a run, to be fair, to bring down that 60-yard deficit. But he's going for free for all this week, so he'll be no 60 yards today.
Yeah, exactly. And I wasn't racing this weekend, and I watched as much of racing as internet allowed at home. And I was watching the betting in this race early on. Corey de Leon was really well supported. In maybe a half an hour to an hour before the off. So the Cooley Mountain men kind of knew what they had in the locker here. They fancied this horse, and they backed the card, and yeah, he won well.
Yeah. Man, he was slow away in his 34 quarter. I tried to goose him up the rail, but he closed that door fairly quick and he was having none of it.
That's right.
There's a brave man trying it.
Yeah. The next pace on the card was won by a Kind of Magic and Alan Wallace, which is the second leg of that double that we were talking about. So yeah, like you said, good to see Alan Wallace back to form. The Kind of Magic has led in his last three runs. He was just pipped on the line last week by a good yardstick in Mena Ranch Roman. He led from start to finish today, and like you pointed out, it was a real front runners day in Anigmar. Colford Ollie was a bit of an eye catcher in here for me, made a big move 3 wide, showed a lot of speed, but just a kind of match, but just a little bit too good on the day.
Yeah, definitely. A front running track and a front running man, he certainly got the job done. Another one that caught my eye there was Ray's horse there, the new purchase there, another new purchase. He was parked out early. He got in behind Alan. He just faded a little bit. Looked like he's pulling quite hard. Maybe a better day, better run will probably suit him a little bit better. Our next race in the day there, Mark, was the trot that we said wasn't really a betting race, but it was one to be watching. And in the end, it went to Dollar Vert. He's another horse who was super in his debut and lost his way a little bit. It was good to see him back. This was probably the only race that had a couple of leaders in the race. There was a little bit of carnage around the first turn. One made a skip. But Brooklyn Trixie ended up being in front for a while. Dollar Vert, he drove aggressively. He got there. He was then chased by Brennan Nicholson and Barris to come on. Looked like he was going to get there for a while, but Wayne, he just had too much in the locker and he just held out. My own horse there, Ducio, he ran a good race, but say didn't really like it coming from behind and get a lot of stuff thrown up in his face. He kind of, he just didn't really get there in the end. I kind of shot myself in the foot saying that there's going to be a bit of speed, but it didn't suit in the end.
Yeah, track conditions were poor for horses tracking in behind. Good run from Dollar Vert, looked like a good horse, and good run in second for Barris to come.
Definitely.
So the last race of the day in Annigmore was the Apprentice Trot. It was won by Diamond Dash. He was kind of caught the eye a little bit in a couple of runs staying on. I think he will have enjoyed the conditions. One of the few horses and people who would have enjoyed the conditions up there. Led your horse away, Sean, your Liam Alpha. Looked quite good and happy on front. Never really looked in any danger. It was kind of a length on front the whole time. Your Liam Alpha made a move maybe with a lap and a half to go, but I don't think at any stage you would have thought that the winner here was in trouble. A good drive by John O'Connell.
Yeah, good front run and drive. Epsom the Corway was looking like to give him a little bit of trouble, but he made a skip early and then he settled and had another go. He made a skip around the paddock bend and that kind of put the race to bed. John had 4 or 5 lengths up his sleeve. My own horse and Calvin, they kind of chased Bain, but didn't just quite get there in the end. But no, it's well done. That's his first win in Ireland, so well done to the lads. Yeah, so we move on to our first race down in Cork in Dunmanway, and that went to Hale Spartacus and Oisin Quill. This is a three-peat for this Connections. Oisin, he's on a roll down there, and he drove it confidently. He's an ultra-aggressive man. He's a fair-haired Joe Bongiorno. He was sharp away. He was quick. He drove it very patiently. Then in the end, he waited until Buster had a right good go, and at the end, he got over the road and he went for it, hammer and tongs home, and just got up. Just held on, should I say? Yeah.
Oisin's become a bit of an expert around these sort of grass fields. Drove this horse very well. He got his fractions, like you say, perfect. Kicked for home just at the right time. Great to see Hale Spartacus land a 3-timer for an Ola campaigner. He's moved yards this year for the first time in his life. Micheál O'Donovan is training him in Lep. We're all chuffed to see Micheál get a couple of winners on the board. And good drive by Oisin. Honor Cole must have run a good race to finish second with Buster.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, it definitely was a good race to watch. It was very competitive, and well done to the lads.
Yeah, the next race was won. Down there. Was a pace was won by Resolute Diamond. First time drive by Timmy O'Leary for John Shanahan replacing Luke Kelleher. This horse looked. We trained him last year as a 2-year-old for John Shannon ourselves here, and he did seem like he had a little bit of ability. He was just probably a little bit too green for a 2-year-old. This was a pillar of the post victory for Resolute Diamond. He'll look like a decent horse here. I think he could be a horse with a little bit of a future for John Shanahan. It'll be interesting to see where he turns up next.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, all right, Mark. Yeah, he had that run in Port Marnock there, and next minute Timmy jumps up in the grass, and Timmy knows his way around all those fields just as well as anybody. And I didn't get much look in the race. I was tracking through and ran wide and made a skip, and I got to watch that one from the back of the field.
Yeah, the next placing race on the card was won by Clewen's Delight and John Mannon. This was a little bit of a kind of a messy race to watch. Rid's Destiny, as I talked him up last week, he led away for Jamie Hurley, but never got left alone by Supreme Sunshine. He didn't really get a minute's piece up front. They went a fair pace in this, and I think he kind of showed in the end of Rid's Destiny. Clewen's Delight probably didn't look like he was in love with the track for John Mannon, but I think at the end of the day, his class kind of shone him through. He did make a lot of mistakes on the track, but was probably always travelling like the best horse through the race for John. He hit the front with a half a lap to go. Kind of looked like he put the race to bed until he made a bad mistake around the corner. King Will's Arrival stayed on well from the back of the field here to nab second.
Just on that race there, yeah, we said Rid's Destiny was going to be a front leader there. He led. He got attacked quite a lot there by Supreme Sunshine and John Boyle. Did it take a toll on him or not? But John Manning, he had his fella tuned and he got around. He came, he got there. As I say, he made that skip around the bend. It looked like that was it. He was gone, but settled quick and rocked on home. So well done to the lads.
Yeah, well done to the lads. Good to see.
Great to see. But one of the next races on our cards then came from the F trot, F up to I think it was a C or something trot. But unfortunately, I made a skip away. And this one, a long trip down for a gallop. But sure, look, we settled fairly quick this time and we got going. It was won in the end by our good friend Patrick Hill there with Bruitner. Devilman Absolute finished up in second with Dan O'Malley. It was his first time to drive the horse around. He made a few little skips, but he put the pressure on and yeah, he looked like a horse that's fun to watch. This Devilman Absolute. Destin Delar led it away. Finbar Quill himself and Devilman Absolute went to war a little bit. Fell into Bruitner's hands and Patrick Hill showed it patiently and tipped him up at the end and got there in the end. Fair play to him.
Typical Patrick Hill drive.
And a race we actually forgot there, Mark, was the Apprentice race, which was one of our feature races of the weekend. It went to Usheen Quill and Valenza. Usheen, that was his double as well. Fair play to him. John O'Malley was a big danger for me going into the race. He's one that I fancied, but unfortunately made a skip into the first bend and made another one throughout the race. But Bella the Spaniard. There's a couple of good horses in, a couple of good young drivers down there, with a couple of nice horses, so they're going to have plenty of fun in that Apprentice series going forward.
And Valentana showed a really good turn of foot down the back to really put the race to bed in the matter of a cup destroyed. Well produced at the right time by Usheen. Another good drive. A very different drive from the winning drive on Hell's Park, but another very good drive. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, no, Valenza, she's got a ball of speed. Like I think she's clocked about 2 minutes, 2-1 in Palmark, and she definitely does not slow down on the grass. So she is going to be a top contender down there for horses there. That's for sure. Right.
I would think so. Now we might move on to our previews. We'll start with Addingmore, that being the Saturday card. The first race in Addingmore is the first division of the 3-year-old Trotters Championship. 5 go to post here. Harley Lee and Hurricane Star are the first 2 on the gate for John Richardson and Willie Flanagan. Malcolm Fairn driving arrangements there. Our own Harry Knowles draws 3 on the gate. Hazardous 4 and 5 is High Fidelity. Both were runners for Alan Wallace. Bit of a tricky one. This John Richardson's 2 have yet to be really seen. Our own Harry Knowles qualified quite impressively in Addingmore the last day, but maybe had an issue or 2 in the first race in Portmarnock. So we're just hoping maybe a little bit more goes his way. Hazardous for Alan Wallace looks like quite a level trotter. It looks like he probably should trot around. So yeah, these races are kind of we're still trying to figure out what's what with these 3-year-olds and who's who. So yeah, this will be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, definitely on form. When things go right, your own horse is probably the one for me that I'd like to be sitting on. Of the Meadow Ranch duo, I would say Hurricane Star seems to have a bit more track experience, more qualifications under his belt. Harley Lee just made the qualifier last week, looked okay, but I would say Hurricane Star would be the best of theirs. And the Wallace double there, I would say High Fidelity would be the better one. Looks nice, trots good. Yeah, but for me, I would say if things go your way, Mark, you might be winning the first.
I hope you're right.
Don't worry, I'm normally not. Next up, we got the pace there, which there's a 2-year-old elimination there for the fillies. Gypsy Queen was a winner in our first race. Churchill Diva, also another nice one coming through. Before I go to post in this one, Mark, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think Gypsy Queen's going to be a short price favourite. Billy Roach with a really canny drive nearly robbed the race with Churchill Diva last time. Got a slow 3/4 and it was a sprint from there. Gypsy Queen got out quite late, but still managed to get up. I think Gypsy Queen's going to go out a short price favourite. Let's Get To It made a mistake. Well, sorry, I think they actually got caught behind the horse and made a mistake last time. Mahogany Charm was forced up all the way for Aidan Caffrey in his first run. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which way some of these run, but I think Gypsy Queen is probably going to be short price favourite, and I think he's going to be convincing with that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, the 2-year-old Colts and Geldens is the next race. This is more or less a rematch with B Quest and Churchill Franco from last week, with the addition of our own Portstown Roman. Roman, I think, is going to be better for the run and better for the experience. Only had one run so far in Tier Prince, in behind two very good horses, but I think the run is definitely going to be better for the run. Bequest looked good with Donald Murphy last week, and a close finish with Churchill Franco. So all three of these horses are open to improvement from what we've seen before. So this could be a tricky one to try and pick the winner of.
Yeah, no, it definitely could be. It was a nice race with two of them guys last week, and I'm looking forward to it. They seem very well matched. They're peg for peg, so yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this race. Next we move on to the next of the 3-year-old trot. So this one here, we've got three previous winners, and not exactly ecstatic to have three of my horses all doubled up, tripled up, should I say? But look, it is how it is, and. Henry Ford was a very, very, very strong winner, as was Humble Beginnings. Hibernia was probably the only one of the trio that came from the back. My own filly Highlands Princess looked pretty good. She made a break early on, but she made really good ground coming to the finishing. I'm sticking with Highlands Princess to drive for this week. At the trot will possibly be driven by Buster Gilligan, and Patrick will be sticking with Henry Ford. He's Meadowbranch, another one of sharp away. Like, there's a couple of real nice horses in this, and they're well matched, so you can go anyway.
Yeah, I think this could be a decent race to watch. Henry Ford, it's hard to say how it mix in with horses. He looked really good on the front end last week with Patrick. Highlands Princess looked really good at making a couple of mistakes as well. Humble Beginning looks a really straightforward drive from Matt Locker for Jamie Hurley. Jamie Hurley makes a long spin up from West Cork, which is one horse. I don't think he's going to be doing that for nothing. So yeah, maybe that's something to be looking out for with Humble Beginnings.
Well, fair enough now for Jamie. Jamie's being clever. He's sending his dad up. Jamie's working, apparently.
He's working, is he? Yeah, the next race we'll have a look at is the 3-year-old fillies elimination. This is a straight rematch with Rainbow Rider, All Bets Are Off, and Churchill Niche. The draw is a little bit different from last time. Rainbow Rider drawn 1, All Bets Off 2, Churchill Niche 3. Imagine there'll be a bit of speed on into the first corner here. These races can be quite cagey, as we've seen last week. All Bets Are Off led to a 1:35 3/4, which is crazy slow for this sort of a race. Gavin Murdoch was trying to steal it from the front end. I think there was a bit of an earplug malfunction there. He couldn't get the plugs out in time. Turned into a sprint between Rainbow Rider and All Bets Are Off. So yeah, I think the race maybe wasn't run to suit Rainbow as such last week for us, but Churchill Niche is really impressive, and if she brings that form to the table, Rainbow's going to have to be on her A game to match it.
These 3-horse races are quite cagey, aren't they? Like, it's all, sometimes the races put the bet on the first turn, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Next, we move on to the free-for-all trot, the first free-for-all for the trotters this year, and we've got a couple of previous free-for-all horses there, but we have to say welcome to the big show, Bingo the Con, one of my own horses, owned by Calvin Brocken. Are we good enough to be there? Well, tell me, you can ask me that on Saturday evening. But to me, in that race there, definitely Abraham on form. He's 2 or 3 wins under his belt. Beats the bet away, another real good mare. Landed Thomas 2 or 3 races. He's probably just looking for the gate now too. Desmond Mucho, as you said, he came off a 60-yard draw last week. Now he's 1 on the gate. Possibly needs another race or two. Unfortunately, Meadowbranch, the horses aren't really firing as they normally do. So hopefully they're getting there. And it's going to be an exciting race to watch this one.
Yeah, good run from Desmond Mucho last week off a trail. If I had to pick a winner just off the top of my head now, I think I'd pick Abraham. Really solid horse, holds his form all year long, rarely runs a bad race. Yeah, this will be a good race to watch, and interesting to see, like, say, how your Bingo the Con, yours and Calvin's horse goes, stepping up in class markedly.
Look, he's fast. He's fast when he's racing against a horse that's a grade C or that, but he was racing against A1s and A2s, so yeah, he's going to be really fast. But look, the plan is the Rev John Memorial is his end goal this year, and he's going to be racing against those horses anyway, so we may as well get a trial run. Yeah,
that's right. The next race we'll have a look at will be the 3-year-old Colts and Geldon's second elimination. 8 go to post here, so we have nearly a full field. Lord Sugar 1, Castlewood Glensman 2, Art Closure, a newcomer for John Calvin and Kevin Corey 3. Oakwood Cowboy, who was an expensive purchase recently by Rory McNulty and switch to Gavin Murdoch's stable. Gavin Murdoch has sent out 3 first-time out winners so far this year from his stable, so this could be one to watch if maybe a little bit of turnaround in form. Might be Paddington makes a trip up from West Cork for Donald Murphy, Mellabranch Dynasty, Oakwood Maverick 6 and 7, and the outright winner of the last 3-year-old Mellabranch Rio, who I imagine will possibly be driven by Noel Ryan. Yeah, this will be an interesting one. We'll be trying to make the pace with Lord Sugar from the one hole, I would imagine. Patch will make use of the good gate speed, and it's going to be a lot of good horses coming gunning for him. I think Oakwood Cowboy is going to be a really interesting one to watch in this race. Yeah, no, that's for sure. Yeah, Lord Sugar, he's been a bit unlucky this year, but that one draw is definitely going to help him there. I'm driving one there for Dan Carlin. That unfortunately we're a little bit slow away. Dan's working on him. But yeah, definitely Oakwood Cowboy. And look, you have to say the lads stepped up to the plate. Best of luck to them. I'd like to see the horse run super for them, and he's definitely the one to watch for the day. Anyway, that's for sure. So then we move on then to the last race of the day, last race of 8, which is the preferred race E to A. What do you reckon for this one, Mark? I think this is going to be a really good race to watch. Mile and a quarter preferred free for all. It's an E to A preferred free for all. So the first couple of horses are really giving away their handicap here. Foxfield Stephen steps up in class again markedly. He's racing against really different horses compared to what he's raced against his first few runs. Has looked impressive, to be fair, in his first couple of runs, bar one mediocre run on Pop Marnick. So I'll be interested to see how he goes. Fairdays Weston, I think, is a likely leader from 2. When this horse gets loose in the front end, he's really hard to reel in. Maybe the extra quarter mile could be a bit of the gift with him. Dragon's Den ran a really solid race for John Richardson last run. Pan Am Colt is one of those horses that he's going to show up and win one of these races one day. And it's not going to be any surprise to anyone. Ran really well for Martin Loughran last time. Billy Roach takes the reins again this time. Newtown Rock and Wallace Senior is down to drive whether this stays like that or Alan Wallace Jr. takes the reins. Again, he ran super last week. I don't think the extra quarter mile is going to be much of an issue to him. He's going to start off the inside of the second line. Master Plan is a really classy horse. Patrick Kane will take the drive for Walter and Lawrence Stewart. Good run behind a really tough Tarawood CJ last week. And I think Master Plan, they're hoping he'll come on a little bit for the run. So yeah, I think he could take a little bit of beating in this, and then Air Majesty with an awful lot of class for Neil McDermott and Martin Loughran. This horse has been mixing at the top level for a long time, but I think a mile is possibly more his trip. Yeah, looking at that, like Fairdays Western, yeah, he's definitely front running horse. Unbelievable speed away. Mile and a quarter. Yeah, that's a question, but who knows, he might go. But definitely for me, it's between Newtown Rock and Master Plan. They're definitely suited for the distance. If there's a good bit of speed on early, like, it's not going to bother them really. It's not going to bother them much. Master Plan was very impressive his last day. This extra quarter and an extra bit of fitness under his belt, probably going to be a good one to watch. So first race on Pop Marnick on Sunday, 6-runner affair, Spring Hill Miss Kate, Laneside Louis, Late for $1, Spring Hill Biscuit, Angelica, the Governor. Late for $1 comes in here off the back of a winning Tier Prince. The time was slow, but Stevie Lee's got a really handy lead in on front to Canny Drive to steal the race here. Maybe could have won if he went faster, I don't know, but he only done what he needed to do. You flagged up Laneside Louis with Ray last week. In Anningmore, be interesting to see how he goes. Spring Hill Miss Kate looking to make it 2 in a row. Spring Hill Biscuit is down to an F now. Horse with a lot of ability, and his day will come fairly soon. Angelica has kind of been mixing it around this grades now for a season or two. I don't think it's going to be good enough for some of these horses. And the Governor is possibly more of a front runner. It was not a fantastic run by him in Port Marnick first run, so he'll need to improve a lot for that. Yeah, no, it's gonna be a nice one to watch. There's a bit of class in that race too, and as I say, I like that Laneside Lou there. Probably Lady for $1 there. It's gonna be a little bit of a step up, but best of luck to Ray. I'd love to see him pinch a win. It's been a while coming for Ray, and we need more people like Ray in the game. Yeah, we'll move on to the second race of the day, which is a grade F trot over 1.5 miles. We've got 9 runners down the post here. My own Brazilian match of one Elda Foss, who was big improvement. I think this is our first drop back down to a grade F. Flatur, another one there. He's looking to double up. A new horse in from Gavin Murdoch, visiting horse Elite Truck.
I don't really know too much about him, so he's going to be one to watch out for. Faris the Cormorant and knocking on the door, as is Valiant the Geehan. Diva the Charms, she wins when she wants to, unfortunately. But we just love to see her trotting away. Eva Darpay, Ushin Quill, and new one to my stable is Beggars. Can't even pronounce her name, but she's a lovely little filly, and we hope we just get her trotting. She's had a few mistakes, but we just want to get her clear out.
Yeah, this is at a second run, and she raced off FM Pomarnock last time. She was a big improver. Maybe got a bit of a rough trip and was maybe an unlucky loser behind Toyfee. But yeah, hopefully the distance will suit. But this is quite a classic race. Like you say, Elliot Thorpe, you don't know a lot about him. We've seen him race in England, seen him be a winner in Musselburgh and then an unlucky loser in Musselburgh a year later. He's a decent horse. Faris the Cormorant's got a lot of ability too. So the third race is our next pace on the card. Pancam Mystery, Kill John Joe, Canewood Tribute, Dollar Bill, Mesmerised, Stateside Vogue, Ladeford Book, Pancam Income, and Anglican Fall Guy. The first three on the gate are going to really have to improve the trouble to judge here, I think. Dollar Bill has his first run for Will O'Connor, Bernard Nicholson down as driver. Mesmerised has his first run for Joseph Caffrey, out of the very classic call for Cabrini. Showed a bit of speed leaving the gate in the qualifier last week or 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I'm sure she'll probably be better for her first run, and Joseph will be minor. Stateside Vogue for Benny Gren. The Ladeford Book was an expensive purchase last year by Robert Barry. Only raced it once, but has been qualifying impressively at Anigmar. Comes in with a bit of a reputation. Pancam Income again is another one who will have to improve. I think the trouble is, and then our own Anglesey Fall Guy draws 9. He's a horse with a lot of class and an awful lot of ability, but he's got probably as many problems to go along with that. So look, we just kind of take him day by day, and yeah, it's just a clear round for him and coming off safe, and we'll be happy.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Right, we move on to race 4, which is a Grade E trot. 5 go to post here. We've got Crazy Boy Notch and Charlie Flanagan. Alcazar de Cien, which is making a second appearance going left-handed for Martin Loughran. Urbano the Cells, my own Older Alpha, and my own Dynamite Brûlée. Looking at that one there now, Crazy Boy Notch, he's been going good for Charlie. Alcazar, we kind of have to see how he gets on left-handed. Urbano, he's always thereabouts. My own Older Alpha, we were looking to step away a little bit. He's a confident front runner, and yeah, that's where I'm hoping I'm going to be.
Yeah, I think the race will maybe be on for the lead between yourself and Charlie with Crazy Boy Noche. Yeah, Alpha's a confirmed front runner, I suppose, as you would call him. And yeah, I think maybe if Alpha got loose on the front end here, you'll name Alpha. I think he could take a little bit of catching. Hopefully for you anyway.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, look, it's his third race of the year. He's been coming along, guys. He put a good run in there and Angmore for Calvin. So yeah, I'll get up and win on. I'll get one over Calvin, give him a bit of slagging for a week. But look, let's see what happens.
I'm sure you'll do that anyway. The next race on the card is race 5. Is a pace, a Grade E and D handicap. Off the gate, we're going to have 3 runners. It's going to be Awesome Deal with Foxfield Magician, Ridge Rival, and second line North Alaska, Stakes in the Pan, Crack a Smile, and Beat the Clock. I talked last week about North Alaska and how much I liked him for Noel Ryan. He's drawn inside second line. Ridge Rival for 3 for Billy Roach is going to get something that he doesn't usually get. He's going to get an uncontested lead here. I can't see Awesome Deal or Foxfield Magician having the speed to go with Rival through the gate. I could see Rival being 3-4 lengths clear by the first corner. He's a really, really classy horse and has been for a couple of years. He's been an unlucky loser in a couple of big handicaps. For Billy Roach, I think he's really going to take catching. Stakes in the Pan at a quiet run in Anigmar last time out for us. We've tinkered a few things with his training system and we're hoping for a good run. I think Ridge Rival will win this, and I think North Alaska will be second. I really fancy Rival in this, to be honest.
Yeah, looking at that there, yeah, Rival is definitely going to be a big contender. North Alaska has been absolutely super, but unfortunately for Seamus, Will Awesome Dude has been a little bit of a headache for him, so I think he could be a bit slow away, and that's going to hinder North Alaska. But it'd be up to Nolly to see what he can conjure up, and yeah, it's going to be a good race to watch. Then we move on to the Grade C trot. We've got another 5 going to post here. One that just catches the eye right off the bat there is Alba Helen Patrick Hill. That's probably the lowest grade she's been in about 2.5 years. But she still got a couple. Donald off the front. Donald's a sharp horse. Another man, Martin Loughran, loves the front. It's not going to be easy for Patrick. She's a fast finishing mare. 1.5 is definitely her distance. Small field, not as much traffic. She could maybe get there.
Yeah, Abba Helene is the one here for me. Donald will take a bit of catching from the front end, but I remember having a discussion with yourself and Patrick Hill a couple of weeks ago when I seen a few of the handicaps, and I said when that mare gets down to a C, I think she's got to be really well in, and I do think she's really well in. I think to get Abba Helene B here, it's going to have to turn into a false run race. I think if this is in any way of a true run race, she's just going to be flying, finishing at the last quarter. And Patrick Hill he's kind of chewing her up nicely with his last couple of runs, and yeah, I think she's going to take a bit of beating here.
Another one is there's Kuma Wind for Cottle Kerrigan. Normally I know everything about these French horses. Never heard of that one. So it's going to be it's definitely going to be one that I'm going to be watching, and look, we wish him best of luck. I hope it's cracker for him, but be one to watch out.
Of course. Yeah, and our next race, which will be our last pace of the weekend, is a grade F pace. Meadow Branch Duke, Mahogany Dreamer, I Being Notorious, Just a Promise, Spring Hill Doyle, and Spring Hill Rob. It's a bit of a tricky race. This it's not the strongest of F races. We've had stronger with the last few weeks. Meadow Branch Duke hasn't really just hit top form. You wouldn't feel yet for John Richardson. Mahogany Dreamer qualified quite nicely earlier on in the year. Has maybe yet to just hit that in his races. I Being Notorious was a recent purchase by Wayne McNevin. A poor run in Anigmore last week. I don't think he actually finished the race. I don't know if there was a harness malfunction or something else, but I'm presuming the horse is fit and healthy because he's back entered. Just a Promise and Spring Hill Doyle are two Cork riders. Cork and Clare. They've been in and around that grade for a long time. When they always seem to stay around there, I would struggle to see either of them, maybe trouble the judge. Spring Hill Rob is an interesting runner here for Joe Sher and Freddie Kavanagh. You've driven Rob once or twice yourself, Sean, and he's not an easy drive. He's a bit of a tricky customer, but has a bit of ability. Yeah,
Rob, no, he isn't. He's not an easy drive, but when he's good, he's real good. And unfortunately for me, I haven't been on him when he's been super good. But let's see what happens. It's going to be a nice race to watch. As I said, there's a lot of good races over the weekend, and this is going to be another one that I can't really put my thumb on one horse in it.
Yeah. Right. So last race of the weekend is going to be a grade D trust. We've got Dollar Vert, Eclair de Rocher, Emperor Souverain, Bulliano, Boyardo, Delia de Massara, and Epsom de Corvées. Dollar Vert in here off one looks really interesting, looked really classy again in Anigmore off the back of a layoff. Eclair de Rocher also looked good coming from the back with Philip Buster Gilligan last week. Buster's horse are flying at the minute, so anytime you see his name down the card, you have to pay attention. Emperor Silverland for Dennis Riley. I'd imagine he'll come on for the run. Patrick drives him. He will come on from his run last week. He's had no problem mixing it with these open horses for one of these batch of 3-year-olds that came in. Bulliano was a winner last time out for Billy Roach. Boyardo for Joe Sheridan's horse. You drove one, Sean. I know you quite like him. Delia de Massara is again a horse who hasn't just hit the form of last year just yet for John Richardson and Willie Flanagan, and Epsom de Corvées. As look classy in the wrong way races, or the clockwise race, should we say, and we just got a bit of traffic to try and overcome in this one.
Yeah, no, that's an exciting race. A lot of good horses in there, a lot of improved horses in there, and a couple of horses that lost their way who are probably just about there. And looking forward to watching.
Yeah, and of course, Dunmanway have a card on Tuesday, which is kind of runs in tradition of their usual Ballabui festival, which had to be cancelled. So yeah, we wish them the best of luck with that, and we hope that they have a good day's racing down there on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's good to see them keeping the tradition going, even though it's not really there, but they're still racing on the Tuesday. And 7 races go to post there, and it looks like an exciting day. I'm heading down, and I'm mad enough to go. I'm doing a lot of travelling lately. Haven't got the winners to show for it just yet, but we're getting there.
So we've got first race starts 2 o'clock Saturday in Anigmore and 2 o'clock Sunday in Portmarnock. So with the horses that we flagged up last week, we had a winner with Newtown Rock. We said Alan Wallace was going to be hitting form again with Kind of Magic. You flagged up Flator, it was a good winner for Darren Timlin. Also Dollar Vert, that if he improves, take a little bit of beating. So our tip on last week wasn't so bad.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon we should start betting, will we?
I don't think so.
Definitely not. All right, everybody. So look, that was episode 2. That's us finished now. We hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, we're looking forward to keep going.
Yeah, that's right. And next week we'll welcome on our first guest, where we'll try and bring on a recognised owner, trainer, driver every week to just to try and add to the show. And I'll remember turning the light on in my house next week before I start. Yeah.
No, not by your electricity bill, man. Come on.